So we don't really need to be, well, we can just say this, we're Gaudiyas, this is our philosophy, because there's, like for every Tattvavadi, there's probably, 50,000 Gaudiyas. We're big. We're not big compared to Christianity or those others, but compared to Tattvavadi, so there's no competition. We don't even have to defend ourselves. We can just say, look, we agree with you. We have nothing to do with you. We're a fifth sampradaya, so thank you. We'll part company now. We'll get divorced. But no one has done that. So, as far as a book which will outline these four sampradayas and their kind of newer branches, there was one. The only thing that comes to mind, of course, you can go on Google and type in that, four sampradayas explained, and then they may just tell you about Sri and Vishnu, etc., and they may not tell you about Vallabha. Then you go again, you search on Google and say Vallabha Sampradaya philosophy explained, and then you can try that way, because that's kind of the big source of knowledge, as you know. So
Google Sadhashastra.
Yeah, Google's like a Google Samhita, Google Samhita, the law book of the Google. I do recall, I read it somewhere along the line. Once there was a class taught in what they call VIHE, which is an educational, whatever, I don't know, whatever it is, I don't know what it is, what do you call it? VIHE is some kind of institute to teach Vedic knowledge or Gaudiya philosophy, and basically, I don't know, you get degrees or whatever, but some devotees would teach some classes. So once a few years ago, I can't say, maybe 15 years ago, there was a class taught on the four sampradayas, and it was taught by a sannyasi named Purushatraya Swami, who lives in Brazil, and he has some preaching farm over there. Purushatraya, it's a little hard to pronounce or spell. Purushatraya, and he wrote a book called The Four Sampradayas, and it's a A4 ring-bound type thing. You can get that at VIHE. So I might suggest, since they have, you might have a soft copy, or they have floating around their computers, or maybe even a hard copy in some old archives or somewhere, some old go down. It's just a ring-bound 8x10 book. It's quite informative and quite interesting. The Four Sampradayas by Purushatraya Swami. So you're there in Vrindavan, I think so, I guess. You can just go to VIHE to the office and ask some ladies over there or whatever, try to track it down. Or another one who's really probably aware of these kind of things. There's a couple smart devotees down there. One is Mahabhagavat, and the other is what's that other Russian brahmachari? Adipurush, yeah. Maybe there's more, but they're kind of old devotees over there. These two, they often have something to do with VIHE also. Mahabhagavat Das and Adipurusha Das. You know them?
Yeah.
Or you can find out who they are there. They live where they live. They still live over there by that house, whatever it was. They used to live near the Goshala. Oh, they live over there. Mahabhagavat. That's the name. Prabhavish. He used to live there, Adi Purush, before. So Mahabhagavat's been there for 20 years or so in this Prabhavishnu ashram. Mahabhagavat. Anyway, that's right near MVT. It's right there. So, and these are smart devotees, and they may have some archives of that book, and so I gave you some pretty good lead there. Purushatraya Swami taught a VIHE class, and they know about all this stuff. And there's probably one lying around somewhere. It's just 15 pages. It's quite good. And then you go to Loi Bazaar Lok Shop. I'm sure there's some book about it. I think the most interesting point is what I found of all, there's so much controversy and arguing and fighting and conflicts in Kali Yuga. But what I found most interesting is what was like really amazing to me about 5-8 years ago, and I found out that we have nothing to do with the Madhvas. And we're jumping up and down. So we're Madhva, Brahma Gaudiya Sampradaya. And then the Madhvas are jumping saying, no. It's like somebody saying, I'm married to you. I'm married to you. And the person says, where's the marriage certificate? Anybody saw the fire yagya? Anybody, do you gave me a ring? I don't have a ring. No, I'm married to you. I'm married to you. And the lady's saying, I never met you. Who are you? I don't know your name. I don't know where you're from. And you're telling everybody in Vrindavan you're married to me. So it's like, someone's going to say, wait a minute. So that was one of the most surprising things when I went on the net and I saw columns, columns, Gaudiyas and Madhvas, and had all the points, principle of Guru, and the mantra they chant, different mantra, different initiative, everything, nothing. So how are we a branch, or how are we connected to the Madhvas? We don't have anything in common, It's like a walrus, marrying a horse. I don't know, whatever. It's impossible, we don't match, and we don't need. I know somehow there was some need somewhere along the line to connect us. I mean, they have some heavy arguments. It's amazing. Like we say, Madhavendra Puri took initiation from Madhvacharya. That's how we're connected. And they say we have a record of all of our charyas, and we don't know anybody named Madhavendra Puri. We never heard of all of our sannyasis and gurus are called Tirth, Lakshmi Tirth, this Tirth, that Tirth, and so we don't have in any of our historical records of anybody 600 years ago named what did I say? Madhavendra Puri, huh? Acha, punch minute. We don't have anybody named 6 years ago. We don't have anybody named Madhavendra Puri. And furthermore, in case you don't know, Puri is not even a Vaishnava sannyas title. It's a Mayavadi sannyas title, and especially then, 500 years ago. So we're like, nobody, And Madhavendra Puri initiated Nityananda, and Nityananda initiated Janava, and Janava initiated Birchandra, and Birchandra, he didn't have any sons, so nobody can really say they're Nityananda Vamsh, because the Vamshadhara is the son of the father, not the son of the daughter. But then Nityananda, Birchandra had 3 prominent disciples. In other words, the son of Nityananda is one, Birchandra. He had no son. So how do you have a Vamsh? Vamsh means a seminal descendant, father's son. But people say we're Nityananda Vamsh. So Ganga Devi is the daughter of Nityananda. Ganga Devi had children, so they can only say that they're descendants of Ganga Devi, who was married to Nityananda. Who was the daughter of Nityananda. But by definition, according to Manu Samhita and Hari Bhakti Vilas and other shastras, the Vamshadhara goes to the son. That's why when a wife gets married in the old days, her name was Smith, but she married Mr. Jones, so then her name became Mary Jones, because the husband, the father's name takes precedence over the husband's name takes precedence over the wife's. So these are inheritance laws, and they're just part of the laws of mankind, Manu Samhita and other books. The Vamshadharas. So although many acharyas, they say they're Vamshacharyas, Nityananda Vamsh, they're not really. But it's good for, they're qualified gurus or whatever. No, I'm not saying that they're qualified and they know the tattvas, and they're qualified to be gurus, and they are. But the term is not exactly correct. They're connected with Nityananda, no doubt, more than anybody else. Or they can say sometimes they'll tell you, if you ask them privately, they'll say, actually we're descended from Nityananda through his daughter. So they're not, although they write in print that we're Nityananda Vamsh. It's a small thing. It's not so big. But we should know that this is the fact. But there's even one very, very esoteric book in Bengali, which Advaita Das tell me, it's called Birchandra Charita. Well, it's not a main shastra. But in there, because there were 3 big disciples of Birchandra Goswami. Nityananda's son is Birchandra. Birchandra had disciples. So those famous big disciples, they had children. They were married. So actually, the ones that are Vamsh, they're saying they're Vamsh, many of them are descending from those disciples. So in this book, Birchandra Charita, he said they were the most prominent disciples, but actually they were the sons also. So that's like, but that book is not. It's not told anywhere else except in this book. At any rate, the main thing is that the world is in a great shortage of spiritual leaders and a great shortage of real gurus. So whether they're Nityananda Vamsha or almost Nityananda Vamsha, whatever they are, if a person is a qualified guru and he has all the lakshana and qualities of a guru, then we're inspired, we take initiation there. It's not really important. You're a Nityananda Vamsha or not. Are you qualified? Okay, you say you're Nityananda Vamsha, fine, I have no problem. I'll worship you, I'll surrender to you, I'll take Diksha. If you're a guru and you've realized the truth and you've seen Krishna and you know the tattva, you're a guru. Guru is guru. But this, I don't know if that was your question, but you'd simply ask where I can read and you got a little more of an answer.